franktalks.com.
Dating during the holidays can be a bit tricky, especially if it's a new relationship. Is this the most appropriate time to meet the family? What events should or shouldn't you invite your new partner to? Our relationship coach, Frank Kermit, joins us to talk about some do's and don'ts during the holiday season. Frank, thanks again for hanging out on the Kelly Alexander Show.
Kelly, I can't wait to come back every time I leave.
Great. I'm happy to have you, especially because this one seems like a really important one because, and I'm sure there's a lot going on, but just, I can sort of just picture this when it comes to holidays. Holidays can either be really good or bad, depending on, I think, what your experience has been as a child or even an adult. And, if it has been good, I think there's lots of romantic notions about it just because it's, it's warm and bright and colorful and you're with your family and all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of people feel extra lovey-dovey, if you will. So At what point in a relationship do you think it's time for your partner to meet the family, especially if it is around the holiday season?
One of the things about the holidays is that sometimes it brings about situations that is a little too soon before the couple's actually ready. People figure, well, it's a holiday party. I'm going to obviously bring my partner, but we haven't really figured out if we're a couple yet. But I'll just bring my partner with me because it feels silly to go without my partner. Then they show up at a party and somebody says, oh, are you two together? And once you're put on the spot, some people look at each other and say, well, I don't know about you. Well, okay. Shall we say? I don't know. And everybody just says, yeah, we are, because they don't want to get into the whole, well, we are together, but we're still getting to know each other, and nobody wants to get into those kind of details. They really don't. I remember that happened to me once upon a time. I showed up with a girl. It was a wedding. She brought me there as a date, and it's one of the first dates we were on. And somebody just looks at us during the meal where everybody else was listening in and said, oh, are the two of you a couple? Oh. I didn't know what to say. I looked at the girl and I says, well, and she looks at me and says, I don't know. So I just looked back at the person who was asking the question, and I responded with a loud, okay, we're a couple. Nice. And everybody started laughing, and that's how we officially became a couple. But it wasn't something that we had discussed beforehand. It was more we sort of just fell into it. Why? There was a holiday, there was an event, we showed up, and we got designated the couple. And as nice as that can be, as funny as it can be in retrospect, that's not the way it's not the best way for a couple to finally be established. My feeling truly is that when you start dating somebody new during the holiday season, bringing that person over to a family function over the holidays, whether you like it or not, you're setting up a sign. You are sending out a signal to everybody who's met you and said, this over here is not just a friend. This over here is someone that either is a significant other or is about to become a significant other.
Okay. Is there more pressure, Frank, bringing someone over around the holiday season? Like, is it, immediate, like you said, you're a couple, or even the family liking or not liking this person?
Absolutely, and it is a very significant thing. I've actually had to counsel people who come in and say, I go over with my girlfriend, and I'm not really, thinking about us getting married, and her family member took me aside and said, look, what's your intention here? And I just felt so insulted, like, who is this person to tell me? And I said, stop. You are in that person's house. You are involving yourself into that person's family dynamic. They have every right to ask what your intentions are. Because if you don't have any long-term intentions with the person you're seeing, then darn it, you should not be there. It is inappropriate. And there is, I've had these discussions with clients. I have come up with a word. There is a word for somebody who thinks that going over to a family function and thinking that it's not a significant thing. I got a word for that. Stupid.
Right.
Okay? You're being stupid. If you are going over to a family function and you are either bringing along somebody new that you're seeing or you are the partner that's being invited along, it is a significant symbol. You are saying, not only do I like the person that I'm dating, I am checking out, I am putting out feelers. I want to see whether or not I want to be a part of this family. That's why you're going. You're not just going because, well, it's Saturday and we're supposed to be together and this event happened. Well, you can meet up with that person after the event. You don't have to mingle with the family unless you are sending the message you want to be a part of that family.
Okay. And Frank, in in and amongst all of this, what happens if, you are in a relatively new situation, like maybe you started dating in November, or whatever, so it's not long. How do you handle, like, if you are invited to a family function, is it appropriate for you and said new person in your life to exchange gifts at all? And if so, do you do it in front of the family?
You do not do it in front of the family. If you've just started seeing each other and you're not part of the family function, you can exchange gifts privately.
Mm-hmm.
The gift should be appropriate to the level of relationship that you're in. Now, if the two of you are simply friends with benefits, where the two of you are getting together as friends, having sex, but there is no interest in a potential long-term future, a nice thought, a card even is enough, something small or something specific to the person that the two of you, may enjoy together at some point, that's fine. If you are going to be more serious, then you have to consider the level of commitment the two of you have. If you're at the point where you're thinking, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with,
Mm-hmm.
then by all means suggest, we're really getting serious here. How would you feel about meeting the family? And if the other person declines, if one of you is saying, I'm really serious, I'm ready to go, come meet my family, and the other person is saying, no, you should take that as a sign that you're not on the same wavelength.
Right. Yep. Yep. I can see that. And I wanted to ask you this as well. And I'm going to use Christmas Day as the generic holiday, if you will, depending on what religion you're at. Obviously, I know it can change depending, which day is of importance for you. But if it is Christmas Day, is it appropriate for you to invite said person to Christmas Day facilities with your family or festivities with your family? Because, like, it's one thing if you're coming to a holiday party on December 18th, but, like, if it's Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, what do you do?
Only if you are planning to be with that person in the future. Only if you're planning or wanting to see if you can be a member of that person's family. That's when you get to spend Christmas Day. Assuming that person is spending Christmas Day with their family and you want to tag along, it's got to be with the understanding you're doing it for the strict purposes of seeing if you can gel with their family. If you have no interest in being a member of that family, or if you at this point, we just started seeing each other, I really don't know, I'm not sure where this is going, then you can always see each other after the family festivities are done.
Okay.
But you don't have to involve yourself there.
This is a big question that I'm excited to ask you. If you are going to a family function that is not your family, so it's your, soon-to-be partner or partner's family, Frank, how do you deal with gifts? Like, do you bring some wine or dessert to the family function? Like, how? Because I'm assuming you want to make, you want to be a decent, good impression person, especially if you're getting a free meal out of it.
I would normally suggest that if it's for a meal, bring something to participate with at the meal. Preferably something you've made. If it's something you've purchased, it should be something that there's enough for everybody to take part in.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something cultural, maybe you are wanting to present something of your own cultural background to this new family. That's always a nice thought. It's a nice personal touch. And in terms of giving gifts to everybody, the one suggestion I've always had is that if you are going to be present during a big gift exchange, which can happen, you show up to be part of the, because you're there to meet the family and they're doing a big gift exchange and there you are, schmo, sitting on the couch, not participating. During the holiday times, if you're going to be in that position, you go buy a box of cards, and in every card you sign your name and you stick a $1 or 50-cent lottery ticket in it.
Okay.
And you just go around and you say, okay, well, it's my turn to give out gifts, and you give everybody a lottery ticket. And if everybody loses, it's the thought that counts. And if somebody wins, maybe you'll get 10%.
Very good. Joining us on the Kelly Alexander Show, our relationship coach, Frank Kermit. For more information on relationships, tips, all that sort of good stuff, check out his website, friendstoloversformula.com. Frank, what advice would you give to those people who are meeting the family potentially for the first time and it being around the holiday season?
Just understand that they're just as nervous about it as you are. Okay? They're just as nervous because they understand if something bad happens at this event, it'll be the one event of, do you remember when so-and-so showed up to our Christmas or our holiday party? Do you remember that? Uh-huh. They're just as nervous as you are. You have to remember, that you are the outsider coming into this family. And they just want to make sure that you're not going to hurt somebody that they love. They want to make sure that you are not a threat to what they believe to be the sanctity of their family. However right or wrong they may be. Sometimes they may be a little bit more aggressive with you. They may say things that, that you can't condone, but you can understand. Such as, look, I'm inviting you into my home, but if you mistreat so-and-so who brought you here, that's not going to sit well with us. And they might use more harsh language.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand that they are looking to, as open as they want to be, as open as they need to be, they also have to look after their own and protect who they love. So that doesn't mean that you should allow yourself to be abused when you go over, but you do have to be mindful that if you want to be treated with respect, you must show respect. They're nervous for different reasons than you are. You're going in there hoping that you are going to be accepted, and at the very least you're going to be liked and get along. They're worried that you coming in means that maybe you're the wrong person for the one they care about, and that you can set that person's life on a horrible tangent. So be mindful of that. They're worried just like you are. They're nervous just like you are, but for different reasons.
I also wanted to ask you, and it's something I would hope that would never happen to anyone that is listening, but again, let's say, you're meeting the family, not your family, and you're relatively new in this, so you don't really know the history of creepy Uncle Drunk Joe or, Handsy-Pansy Aunt Anne. What happens if they pull something, while you're at one of these functions, and it's like, this is such a new situation for you?
Don't be overly reactive. Take your partner aside as soon as you can. Relay the incident and simply ask, is this something that's normal here? Because the fact is, your partner may be terrified of telling you the truth. Your partner may say, I don't want to tell you about all the crazy things my family might do because I don't want to scare you off. I don't want you to leave. Now, this, as a relationship coach, I'm coming in here and saying, okay, look, this is exactly what you should have told your partner before inviting that person over. Look, I'm inviting you over, but here's what you need to know. You got to know that this person always drinks too much, and this person asks very inappropriate questions, and at least give them a heads up. Mm-hmm. So it isn't the way your relatives are going to act in an embarrassing manner. It's whether or not you prepared your partner for it.
Okay.
And if something like that happens, you go to your partner and you say, listen, this just happened. Is this typical behavior? Is there a way to interpret this? And if the behavior continues to get out of hand in a way that you're not comfortable with, you can always excuse yourself and say, look, I really appreciate the invitation, but I have to go. Again, that's only in super extreme cases where the behavior of a relative may be completely out of left field. Mm-hmm. But with that said, the issue that I would be looking at is if you have a crazy relative who's going to embarrass you or mistreat whoever it is you bring home, and you didn't warn your partner, that's the red flag, not the crazy relative. Your inability to be able to be honest with your partner to protect him or her before going over, that's the thing that you need to discuss with your partner, and the red flag that makes you say, maybe I shouldn't be with this person anymore.
Yep, that is a very good point. And I hope a lot of people, way to go, Frank. I hope people, put that in their frame of mind. And before I let you bounce, what, main point do you want to leave us with? Because again, I visualize it. And I know how holidays feel. And it's just, again, hopefully it's a good experience for most people, but it's just like, I feel like there's so much emotion and so much like lovey-dovey going on that it's easy to either be in denial or not be as aware as you should be. So what do you want people to keep in mind?
Okay, final parting thought is that there's a difference between hoping it's going to be an excellent holiday and expecting it's going to be an excellent holiday. If you go in with unreasonable expectations that I'm going to bring my partner to meet my family and everything is going to go perfect and everybody's going to be on this best behavior and no one is going to misbehave and everything is going to be fine and people who are who normally misbehave or act in a way that embarrasses me, they're not going to do that this time, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be wonderful, and everybody's going to get along. And you have all these ridiculously unreasonable, unrealistic expectations. Well, you're setting yourself up for failure. That extra pressure is going to get to you. And there's no way that, well, no matter what happens, there's no way that that expectation is going to be met, so you're setting yourself up for a very, very sad evening. If, however, you say, look, I really hope it's going to work out, but whatever happens, happens. I'll be accepting of what happens. Let's just get through this and try to enjoy our night, well, at different parts of it. And if you take that attitude towards it, you got a better shot at coming out of it saying, that was actually a really nice holiday, and it was a really great opportunity for the family to meet.
Excellent, Frank. Thank you, as always. This was great.
It was really a lot of fun, Kelly. Keep me in mind for the new year.
You got it. That was our relationship coach, Frank Kermit. Again, for more information, make sure to check out his website, friendstoloversformula.com.
Need help with love, sex, dating, and relationship issues? Help from Frank Kermit, the best-selling author and Canada's most international relationship coach, is only a click away at franktalks.com. Coaching available in person, by phone, and by Skype. For singles, couples, and alternative lifestyles, franktalks.com.
If you need help with your relationships, my buddy Frank, he's got some tips. Just go to franktalks.com. His advice is better than your mom's. He knows what you're going through, Frank has been there too. So log on to franktalks.com. franktalks.com.
Need help with love, sex, dating and relationships? Visit franktalks.com.